stars. The lights, they shine. Do you love the arts? Well, you've come on time. We have the music, the stories, the performances, all creatives. But shh. At 11:11 we pause. A moment of inspiration so your soul can glow. Then back to the spotlight. Center stage.
Welcome back to Center Stage. Buon Natale.
Buon
Welcome to
Natale!
Center Stage.
Bravo! Feliz Natal in Portuguese, Feliz Navidad in Espanol, and how do you say in Chinese?
Oh, you're putting her on the spot
Yeah,
now.
you put me on the spot. I'll have to Google that later.
Google that later.
We can Google it together.
So today we have an interesting show, and I always say special, so okay, special show. We have two incredible people.
Amazing.
It gives me, I have to breathe. I was just talking
Get
about
the oxygen
breathing with
tank.
somebody else. Okay, the first one is Ciro. Oh, no, rolling the R's. Chito, like the chips.
Cheeto.
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 Yeah, Cheeto, because he's so cool.
Cheeto.
You're Cheeto cool.
Cheeto
Cool and
Dapagio.
David, King
And Dave
David. Okay.
Iacovetti.
And as you know, welcome to Center Stage. I'm Alicia Careeno.
Frank here.
Michelle Chin, how are you?
Let's put our guests on TV. There they are.
Cheeto
Hello,
and
Dave. How are you?
Nice. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being.
Hello, thank you.
I'm sorry for rolling the R because you're just cool.
It's not
like
the R's that
that
bothered me, it was the T.
Oh, really? T?
Oh, you said Cheeto.
Oh, I said the chip. Yeah, the
Yeah, you
Cheeto.
said the
Okay, Cheeto.
Just
Uh-oh.
Cheeto.
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced in Italian, right?
So tell us a little bit about your origin stories. Where do we start?
Well, I'll start. I grew up down here in Miami. My dad had come down here years before and set up shop. He was a famous mobster with the Gambino family. I wrote a book a few years ago. It went to #1 in organized crime biographies on Kindle. And surprised me. My brother here, Ciro, was working on a movie based on some of the stuff that had gone on with my father and I. And I said, well, let me put the book out. And then a couple of years later, he got the movie completed, and that's out there now and being shopped around. But what we shared was basically growing up in a time that no longer exists with people that no longer exist. You know, the 70s, the 80s, even into the 90s. Miami was what they call an open city in organized crime. And all of them were operating here. Obviously, the Colombians, the Cubans, the cocaine cowboy days, and we were right in the middle of it as kids growing up, and then as young adults growing up, and we wound up working together as friends, and then producing our own TV show back in 1988 for Channel 6 Miami, and it was called Center Stage.
So tell us a little bit how you met, because that's a very exciting, funny story.
Well,
right?
he was friends with friends of my father's, and we'd actually met prior to really getting to know each other and spending much time together and working together as kids. My dad had took me on a boat one day, along with another kid, down to Indian Creek Drive across from the famous Fontainebleau Hilton. And it was a big Italian party that was going on, and it was like a feast that I've never seen since. You had all these guys in suits, and we came by boat, and my dad was in shorts and stuff, I was in shorts and stuff, but everybody else were dressed to the nines, and they had lobster, lasagna, raviolis, all these things that I remember as a kid just drooling over.
Oh, yeah.
And partaking in. And then there was this other blonde kid there who kind of had an attitude, I thought, at the time. But he was in shorts and stuff, so we kind of like, clicked up. But I had no idea the background story on him. And then it would be years later that we met as we got older. And then we were working together. He had a band called Nouveau Image. He was at the Buttons South, where all the famous rock and roll groups came in there. He was hanging out with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp had a band and was playing there. I never hung out with Johnny, unfortunately, but I was there at the bar. I seen it going down. And then, you had that time with the music of the 80s and everything. And his band was very popular. They were doing a lot of gigs, and he liked to have me hang around, so he hired me as security just so I could be with them on all their gigs.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. I knew a little bit more about the history with Dave's dad than Dave did at the time. It was kind of a surprise to Dave, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, those were really great times. Whoa, we losing our hat here.
Not just the hat.
So I don't know how I follow that one up, but anyway, so yeah, it was a great time. I remember another really good time over there on Indian Creek. If you remember the Black Tuna Gang party,
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that sounds fun. Tell us a little bit
Old
about
buddy
that.
in the corner. No, you don't want to know about that.
The Black Tuna Gang, for those that don't know underworld history, were a group of smugglers that were the original cocaine cowboys, if you would, but they dealt in marijuana. That was their main thing. And their black tuna, all their guys had gold black tuna necklaces and medallions that they wore, and that was their nickname. And they wound up being arrested and taken down, and they went away.
And now we're blowing them out of the water.
And now they're blowing them out of the water.
We're blowing them out of the water.
Welcome to 2025.
Welcome to 2025.
They might have got taken away, but you wouldn't have been blowing those guys out of the water. There were some tough cats, but yeah, it was an amazing time. And then, as natural progression would have it, Dave kind of sees it a little bit as it was kind of like just happenstance that I pulled him into the circle, but it was a little more rooted in depth there than that. So,
really?
Yeah, I've been following Dave for a long time when we were little, so there's other things there at play there with our backgrounds, but now we've since realized it and stuff like that, and we honor his dad. We keep it close to the vest. It's not a story we really delve into too deeply, other than the fact that we both love and admire the man, and he did his things for both of us, and and it went how it went, and now we're on our 6th decade together.
Yeah.
So how did you get into music and film and producing and acting and everying that you did? Wonderful, amazing things you
the
do.
line of work I was in really doesn't exist anymore, so I had to find a new field to try.
I actually introduced him to the TV business.
Really? It was you that did
So
it all.
And then after that, he was off like a rocket. Well, he had a long layover. But after that, as soon as he landed on his feet again, he was off like a rocket.
How did Mobs King start? How did that get together?
Yeah, tell us more about that.
Well, I had some time on my hands, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? I can't obviously do this or that, how I used to earn and stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll just put something together based on my knowledge of the streets and whatnot, and that's where it started to evolve from. And when I got out, I just started doing it, and it just kind of took a life on its own.
Yeah, it just exploded.
Yeah, it really.
It was mind-boggling because he came home. At the time, I was in a jam. I couldn't work with him on it, and he got it together and he put it out online. I guess that was around 2018?
2017.
2017. And he picked up a following right away. That was where people were going viral, with little clips. But he had a whole series, and they were all over it. And it was pretty impressive for me. So then, once he got that going, he had many different offers coming in. And he goes, Dave, I'm going to need another project. And he came to me. He goes, how about the Silent Partners thing? And I go, yeah, take it. I had been working on the book, but I hadn't, had in mind a movie. And so it worked out great. I got the book done. He got the movie done. I even have a cameo in there for a moment. Yeah, cameo on both of them. I really like the Mob King one, though.
You did great.
That was
You did great in
That was a good movie.
that was a good cameo.
Yeah, so Mob King is out on Amazon, all the different streamers, Vudu and Apple and all that, and Tubi. And you could also catch Silent Partners, which is, we changed the names when we made a movie, because obviously people are getting killed in a movie, and you don't want it to be based on true characters, people getting killed, so you want to leave.
Maybe a hitman.
So you
really?
you want to take a little creative licensing there. So we changed the names, but it's all inspired by stuff. It was an actual real scam that was going on, an event that we had firsthand knowledge of, this insurance scam with these guys. So we just turned it into a movie, and it's doing great. It's got 47 critical reviews out there that I'm aware of, and they're all good, not one critical review, which is kind of weird because the critics always want to say something. Like Mob King, it's like 60-40, 40% hated it, 60% of the critics loved it. But Silent Partner is universal, critically acclaimed, so I'm happy about that. And I have some big plans coming up for that, with some of the new stuff that I'm working on, because I'm transitioning into television, and looking at putting some content deals together with some major streamers that I'm actively negotiating with currently. And I'm finishing 4 pilots right now. I just got one more day to shoot for Call Him King, which stars Robert Davi, Robert Lasardo, Jeremy Luke, Anna Alexander, a bunch of people. And
wow, so you have great people.
Yeah. So it's going to be really good. And I just finished the wrestling thing, so a lot happening there on the TV front. So
how exciting! I mean, this is something that your experience, your life experience, the legacy that's been left behind has brought you to this point, and then you're just building up on it.
Sure.
And it's great. And you're filming mostly where?
I film in Miami. I'm a Miami guy.
Wow. So, for the viewers to understand, for those that don't know, that's a huge thing for Florida, because Florida has been a little dry. And it's projects like yours, that you guys are just bringing Miami back in the market and showcasing the greatness that we have here.
Yeah, because everybody comes here from somewhere else.
Yeah.
They do their thing and they leave. And we've known for 4 decades now, because we said, look, there's so much talent here in Miami. We have talent in every single category. We've got the actors, we've got the tech people, we've got, and back at that time there was Limelight Studios. It was like a full-fledged MGM movie studio lot was down here. I mean, there were so many things that you could do if you had the money. Right. And that was the problem, because Ciro told me point blankly, $1 of the wrong kind of money and it kills whatever comes good from it. So there was lots of times that we had to pass, and I had to pass, and I'm talking of us individually on our own and together. But when we were together, we didn't pass up too much money, did we? Whenever it came along, we took it.
So you were the one that
especially back in those days.
Yeah.
Especially back to
there was like a 15-year drought of us working together, and then we got back together around 2018, 2019, and did some things. But the funny thing is, I was always in TV. I always had cameras. I was always, working on some kind of documentary, some kind of movie, some kind of something. So
and what are you doing now?
So now I've got one, which I was leading into, is Miami Mafia Generation X. And basically, it's a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff that I picked up on camera and I retained of the war stories that me and him talk about. Joe Catalda's Joseph's nightclub, for instance. He almost got his stuffed in barrels there. He was a friend of my father's. I had the utmost respect for the guy, and I didn't want no issues. But we did have a contract with him to do a TV show there, and suddenly Joe got something in his craw, and he said, nah, shut that TV thing down. Oh. And when he did, me and Ciro went up to the champagne room to talk with him, and he had his bodyguards around him, and he kind of fluffed us off. And Ciro goes, oh, hell no, that's not happening. And he went right through the bodyguards, right up to Joe, who was nobody to play with, and says, hey, this is my TV show, and we got a contract. And the next thing you know, Joe agreed, changed his mind. They're over there drinking champagne, laughing, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Question, because with everything that's going on right now, internationally, and the things that we were discussing earlier about Colombia, and it's the drug trade, everything. Has that evolved in terms of ideas for you?
For sure.
Well, I gotta tell you something, okay? The Columbia Rackets is a good racket to be in, good business for Miami.
Well, let's face it, the Jewish, some Italians, and the Spanish people, mainly the Cubans, built Miami. I mean, the mob was here and operating, but when the Cuban community came over, they went to work in every way to make Miami what it is today. The mafia kind of moved out of Miami, so to speak, as we know it, or as it was back in those days, and then you had what was called the Colombian mob and the Cuban mob and so forth. But yes, I mean, we could never make all the movies from just the experiences alone that we had. That's why with this future, I've got part 2 of my book, Fat Dave, in the Silent Partner series.
Fat Dave.
Yeah, that's my father. That was the government name that they stuck on my dad.
Oh,
His real nickname was Davy Crockett, because he would go places that none of those guys in Brooklyn would ever imagine. He was friends with Papa Doc Duvalier. He liked boats. He was running boats to the Caribbean and so forth.
But very few people knew that it was Davy Crockett. It was only his circle of
Right.
people.
They didn't want notoriety.
He didn't like the name Fat Dave.
No, and that was only because they couldn't pronounce Iacovetti. So they go, yeah, that guy, Fat Dave, and it stuck. And I mean, he knew about it, but no, he wasn't too tickled pink about.
You didn't want to refer to that in person.
So we're going to have more
It's
with
kind of like the Bugsy thing. You didn't want to say Bugsy to Bugsy.
we're going to have more with Ciro and Dave right after our sponsors pay for us. Couple minutes.
At 11:11 we pause. With a deep breath, close your eyes. Breathe in slowly. Imagine a gentle wave rolling towards the shore. As you exhale, picture the stillness at the crest of the wave. Breathe in the love in your heart. Exhale and release all your love to the extremities. At 11:11, remember peace begins with the breath. Love begins with the heart. And kindness is the gift we can all share. And that center stage, brought to you by Sea Sirens.
Discover the books of Frank Ruffolo, an internationally acclaimed author and accomplished screenwriter with IMDb credits. From the gripping Jack Stenhouse series to inspiring faith-based adventures, Frank Ruffolo delivers stories that captivate, thrill, and uplift. Whether you crave suspense, action, or a journey of spirit, his books bring unforgettable characters and powerful storytelling to every page. Get your copy today at frankaruffolo.com or amazon.com or AMP Media Studios. Don't just read a book. Experience the world of Frank Ruffolo. Get your signed copy today.
This is Smoke Barbecue. We're located in Fort Lauderdale at 3351 Northeast 32nd Street, Fort Lauderdale 33308. Our website is www.eatsmokebbq.com. It's EATSMOKEBBQ.com. You can order online. We also do catering for 10 to 10,000.
If you are looking to bring your family out to an incredible food venue, this is the place. We're at Smoke Barbecue in East Fort Lauderdale. Everything is amazing. If you can see their faces on our crew and the amount of food that they have taken down in about 15 minutes is absolutely unbelievable.
And we're still going. I can't talk amazing.
And everything is coming. So here, let's eat.
Be right back.
Welcome back, guys. We're here with the king and his buddy.
And the
Ciro and Dave.
the center stage where we're in the red.
King, I'm buddy.
So let's tell us a little bit about your superpowers. What are your superpowers? That's my favorite question.
Mine is seeing right through people. You know, you survive these streets for decades like I have and be around people like Ciro and my father and his friends, and you pick up like almost an X-ray vision when it comes to people. And that would be mine, because even when I've doubted it, like there's been people that I've met that I was like, wow, this is a great addition to my life. I really like this person, but something just would stick.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah, I get that same thing.
Yeah.
I get something in the back of your mind goes, something's not right.
And then you question your own, capabilities and all, but every single time I've been proven right. It may take a year or 2 or 3, but it's always come back that, hey, that's why I had that feeling. So now I just save a bunch of trouble. Once I got that feeling, it's like, hey, so nice to meet you.
Goodbye.
But it's
a good thing you've learned.
It's interesting how life, when we grow in life, we always become humbled in the process. And I think that's what it's all about. And even though with great, great, great achievements, You know, sometimes we get hiccups in lives, and I found that sometimes those hiccups is only to promote us to the next level. Does that make any sense?
It absolutely does. I tell people that all the time. I go, sometimes what you think is a disaster or a failure actually is something that is actually protecting you, and it's carrying you to something that you would not have had you not had that hiccup or that failure. For example, when I broke up with my second fiance, I was totally heartbroken. I mean, I was the closest to feeling dead.
And you broke up with her?
Kind of, sort of. She cheated on me, and I threw her out. So, yeah. So, I mean, I could have kept her, but listen, once you betrayed the trust, it's gone. You can't, put the cork back in the bottle.
She cheated on Dan Marino.
Well, I deserved it. I wasn't the nicest guy in my younger days.
However, look at you today in terms of the growth you've had.
Yes. Not only that, but because of that breakup, we're still really good friends decades later. But I met my future baby's mama wife, and I have a beautiful daughter now that had I not.
Your baby's mama's wife?
No, she became my wife and baby's mama.
Oh,
but
gotcha.
It was because of that breakup. If I hadn't broke up with the fiance, I would have never met my future wife, baby's mama, and I wouldn't have the beautiful daughter that I have now.
Yes.
So sometimes those failures and those things that you think, oh man, they don't work out for a reason. And so yes, I can totally relate to you. And again, same thing. Once I feel that's something like that's coming, I do like him. I just let it sit and see what happens from that point on.
Lay back there.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason, and
And I don't have the time that we used to have.
Dave was quite the ladies' man back in the day. Don't let him fool you.
Well, I did have a few relationships, but I wasn't a player per se. I'm one that, for me to be physical with someone, I got to have feelings for them.
Good.
And I got a lot of questions because of that from females, and I used to tell them too. I go, hey, just because I ain't jumping on you doesn't make me gay. I just happen to be somebody that likes to, know who I'm sleeping with, which used to be a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the 80s were crazy, okay?
Oh, the 80s
they
were
were a revolving door of sexuality going on. But not everybody was part of that. At least I wasn't.
Well, it's so funny. And speaking of sexuality, because it's become so disposable. Well, why has sex become so disposable? Like, yeah, I'm just going to go and hook up, Anyways, back to you. What's your special power?
I don't have any powers. I just wake up every day and move the needle.
That's his special power?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
He wakes up every day and moves the needle.
I'm sure yeah, right. I'm sure you've got a lot more, but
Yeah,
that's okay.
we know
silent but deadly.
Exactly.
That's what I call him too. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I love silent people. They're really there because some of the silent people are the most brightest people.
Yeah, and it's
Yep.
everything speaks for itself, so you don't have
Speaking
to.
of to
I
other
have
person.
speak.
I have a question for you guys. You can answer it or not, but is there anything you guys have done that you shouldn't have done?
What?
In this, I'm not talking about your current business opportunity, or is there anything in your current business that you didn't do that you should have done?
There may be on my end, but I'll tell you what I did that I won't do anymore, and it took me the maturity that I'm at now to enforce that, and that is waste time. I've put a lot of faith in people and gone the extra mile that I won't do that anymore now. Now time, Ciro's had 5 life and death close calls. I've found out 3 of my close friends that were either a year too old or a year too younger have died and gone. Some of them have disappeared. I don't even know what happened to them. So like he said, getting up every morning, I'm blessed. I have a beautiful 88-year-old mother who I'm working with who has an incredible story of her life, of the people she met and the experiences she had. It will really be a true Norman Rockwell of the 21st century, her story. She lived through the Great Depression, World War II, the 50s, the 60s, and she's still kicking today.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm blessed for that. Mm-hmm. So that kept me anchored. So I try not to waste any more time on frivolous things when I could spend it talking to her or helping her or cooking her dinner or whatever. I'm just so grateful for that. So yeah, not.
I love hearing that.
Waste.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Not wasted.
I have a mother like
She
that
sounds
too.
amazing.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
She's my superhero.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I get it. We get it.
She's
Michelle's
binging.
mom too is like that.
She's binging on ancient aliens now, and she's fascinated by those stories.
Oh, well, you love them too. I love Ancient Aliens.
So she keeps me updated about Osiris and all the Egyptian extraterrestrial, and she goes, we might be extraterrestrials. And she's a Georgia Baptist from the South, so for her to even entertain those thoughts,
I love that show.
she's like, they didn't tell us any of that back in the day, back in school, and anything. So, yeah.
But
so I'm
they
blessed.
called it fallen angels in the Bible, right?
I believe in that. I believe we have fallen angels here on earth.
Yeah.
Some are here doing lots of good, and some ain't. You just gotta be careful who you wind up with.
Yeah, don't sleep with them.
In this business, you just have to do your thing. You can't allow outside influences. You don't want to take people's opinions, because believe it or not, the majority of people, they only want you to do good unless you're doing better than them. If you're doing better than them, then it's just a weird thing. There's an undercurrent always of someone wanting to say something negative about what you're trying to do or whatever. And if you let that get into your space, then it's, going to bring down what you're trying to do. So now what I do is, my world is so small and so very limited on the exposure to people and what they have to say about what I'm doing, that it just allows me to flourish and make content the way I need to make it and let it speak for itself. And that's what I'm doing. And eventually you get to the point where you have achieved, and your resume is getting so thick, so to speak, that anybody who has anything to say at that point will look ridiculous, because people will be like, what are you talking about? This guy does this, this, and this, and you're over here talking about you're going to do this. You know what I mean? So you can reach a point of respectability and earn respect in people's eyes by just closing your mouth, doing what you're supposed to do, and let the work speak for
And
itself.
then you have an
That's
army of
wisdom.
defenders who are willing to stand up for you.
Well, they stand up for the projects.
Yeah.
Well,
They
and
stand
in
up
this
for what you're doing.
industry, I've learned that there's a lot of broken promises. I've been told, this, but so much. And what you're saying coincides exactly with my belief system, and keeping it simple and small. Yep. And you know what? And keep it's just stay straight and narrow.
My father said many things that stuck with me over the years, and a couple of them I didn't understand when he said them at the time, but now I understand them clearly. One of them was, "It's just sex, son," and that solved so many things in my head as I kept running what he said through my head. And the other one was, "Keep your mouth shut and your ears open," and that comes to be so true now, especially now.
There's one more, too. If this food gets cold, so will you. He was a cook, he was always in the kitchen.
Yeah, he loved to cook. That was
you
his
guys
thing.
should have a coffee table book about like the little sayings he would say.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Well, I
Your
said
mothers, like the legacy that they leave, because we have it with my family. But anyways, so what is now the next step that you guys are up to? What are you doing exactly?
We can't tell you.
Oh,
We'd have to.
what can you tell us?
Here comes the
What
next saying.
snippet? So what snippet can you tell us?
Okay, no, I can definitely tell you with me. I mean, and like he said, I'm not about talking about it anymore. I'm doing it. I kind of do these things and talk about it just because I'm like, okay, well, you opened your mouth, now you got to do it. But one is to do the follow up for my dad's biography, because there's still a lot to be told about him and what went on. Currently working on a audio book with my 88-year-old mother, where she tells her story of living through the Depression and meeting Frankie Carbo, and the list goes. Frank Sinatra, she dated him for a couple of weeks in
No
Las
way.
Vegas. Frank Sinatra actually wanted to adopt me, but my parents wouldn't have it.
What?
And I said to my
That's
dad,
a movie in itself.
yeah, well, I'm,
Google Frankie Carbo for you out there that don't know. who
yeah,
he is.
Frankie Carbo ran
How do you spell it?
Carbo.
Okay.
And he ran the Underworld's boxing syndicate, and he was also one of the main guys in Murder, Inc., which was a very bad outfit that took care of the mob's thing. So she was with him before she met my dad, and then Frankie wound up, she believes he got arrested because he came to the horse track where she hung out looking for her, because it's when he left the horse track that the FBI found him. He was on the lam, and they found him because he had gone to the horse track. And then later in prison, he heard that she was dating my father, and he goes, well, they deserve each other. So, but you will hear it from her mouth. But the one that excites me the most, obviously, of the projects I'm working on now, but also the biography of us, because there's so many snippets of famous people that are in there that when I can put it all together, you'll be like taken back to the 80s. You'll be in those cocaine cowboy days, and you'll see a young version of him, a young version of me, and some of those people that aren't with us anymore actually in the environment of what Miami was.
So the
Okay.
real, all the footage.
Unfortunately, we have come to the end, and you've ended the show perfectly, Dave.
Thank you. My
Ciro,
pleasure.
thank you. Dave, thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
guys,
you guys so much.
Yeah.
catch our next show on Center Stage. We got more coming.
Center stage.
Thank you for watching Center Stage.